What's good, everybody? It's Batman, and we're going to be checking out one of the GOATs, aka Thundergod. He's a goated Naruto creator. If you guys don't know who he is, make sure to check him out. You know me, the only people I like to really check out is people that actually make really good Naruto content. Even if there's, certain disagreements here and there, regardless, if I'm checking out their content and reacting to it, it's because it's for a reason. Or it's because they're so bad that we got to do it for entertainment. I'm not going to be listing names, but you know what I mean. Okay, so... But yeah, he's not the bad one though. We'll say that he doesn't deserve the coal or anything from Santo, or he's not on the naughty list. He's one of the good ones. He's a really chill guy too, very humble person. Like that's what I love about him the most. You know what I mean? He's not really like a person like all about like his ego and all that. You name it. So he's a very chill person. But he makes great content. So if you guys don't know who he is, I'll make sure to put his YouTube down in the description down below. This way you guys can check him out and everything. But yeah, definitely give him a view, give him all the love and support, you name it. If you're not doing that, like what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, but we're gonna check him out and let's get it. Video title is "What If Pain Went to Capture B," which is a really interesting like topic. Like I didn't even like out of all things I've ever thought of in Naruto, I never even thought of that. Dead ass. Like that's a really good topic in my opinion. I already have my thoughts and my opinion of who would win that if I'm being honest with you, but. What's it called? Let's see, and let's get it.
Invincible leader of the Akatsuki versus the perfect bijou of the Cloud Killer B. What's going on, guys? TG or Thundergod here, doing a bit of a sequel video. A while back, I did a video on if Taka went to go capture Sage Mode Naruto. Link in the description. With this video being the inverse,
that's a good, cool topic too.
To go capture Killer B. Both scenarios having real possibility within the context of the story. Pain
For sure.
Taking Taka's place in the Cloud Village with the objective being to capture the A-Tails. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe if you're new here, and let's get into the video.
Ready, did, buddy.
This fight up into phases, which character wins does somewhat depend on this. I'll be using B at this point in the series, most prominently from his Taka and Kisame fights, as War Arc buffed a lot of characters to a ridiculous degree, despite there being no display of such characters improving. I understand there's certain narrative elements, like a lot of people bring up the fact that fighting is training statement that B makes, which obviously is valid. But you have characters like Sai, who when angered can blitz behind and blow back Akatsuki members like Deidara and Sasori. Sasori is more known for tangling with the Kazekage tier of fighters. So this video will be taking B pre-War Arc. Now this fight's going to begin with Killer B in base attempting to gauge the paths of Pain's reaction times using his blade work mixed in with Raito enhanced blades in conjunction to his unorthodox blade work, which obviously won't be tagging any of the paths of Pain, especially in an open area.
Oh yeah, no. Like that Ling Vision, I'm gonna tell you right now, is definitely negating that shit. Like nothing's happening. They'll be perfectly fine. They got all the hacks, speed, you name it.
Like this, where they have shared vision, and not only will base B not be able to tag the Pains, it's questionable if he actually be able to take the Pains down with his blade work, as even when Jiraiya pierced right through them after they were caught in the Genjutsu, they just got up and were able to continue fighting. So blade piercings or right on enhanced blade work would not be effective unless you say he's able to disrupt the passive Pain muscles and lock the actual bodies from moving, similar to Sasuke, but we've seen no evidence that B is capable of doing this. The passive Pain also have some pretty substantial durability in a weakened
crazy durability.
Fatigue Kakashi's Raikiri while broken down, or base Naruto's Rasengan while Pain was extremely fatigued, although it was discussed that Naruto was chakra challenged at this point as well. So since both parties are fatigued compared to their... One
thing I will say though, like that robot path that you just spoke about, that man like got slammed by Choji's dad's fist and crushed to pieces, was still able to move fast enough to get in front of Kakashi like Haku did with his Raikiri, take that hit, was so durable that it's going through his body like slowly but surely, and then eventually is able to make contact, but it gave Tendo Pain enough time to do the Shinra Tensei, and then it made all of it irrelevant. So like that Pain is no fucking joke. Very durable, very strong, can rip off Sage Mode Jiraiya's arm like it's a fucking twig. He can launch the summoning path of Pain all the way in the air, like to the fucking sky. Like he's no joke. He's crazy.
Full power, this should resemble what it'd be like if everybody was fresh as well. They're also blatantly able to contend with Sage Mode Jiraiya in hand-to-hand combat, so they're ridiculously impressive in the aspect of not just physical dexterity, but physical might. With all this in mind, B is going to get tagged by one of the Pain's rods and power up. I think this happens very quickly in the fight. He's going to quickly deduce that they have shared vision. Now, I don't think they would take him out instantly. I think he's going to get tagged with a rod since his chakra flow is disrupted. and power up. Now, B generally powers up depending on what he deems necessary for his opponents in power.
True.
For Taka, he only powers up to version 1 cloak until, he wants to flex on them with the 8 tails. For Kisame, he jumped to version 2, although he would have gone full 8 tails if not for Sabu and Ponta being present in the fight. In this situation, B is either going to go into his version 2 state or his full 8 tail state to be losing ground in the fight.
Yep.
Whether in response to him being pulled by Bancho.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. Like, he's not going to go on V1. He's just not doing that against Pain. Someone like on that caliber of a threat, he's either going straight to V2 or he's going straight to full transformation.
Putting a bunch of Bs, or even the Osteropath shooting some of its missiles at B, which can cripple base B as it was able to blow off Jiraiya's arm even with his Sage Mode enhanced body. But any real threatening attack will prompt B to transform, which...
I don't know about that. What, didn't he rip off his arm when he was like behind him? He's like, didn't you say not to let your guard down? And then he'd like slam him into a wall or something, and then like ripped his arm off. I could have sworn he just did that with brute force. I don't know about him shooting a missile. I know he shot a missile at Jiraiya to kill him in the frog, but I don't know about that. So unless it's like in the data book or somewhere where it explains how Jiraiya lost his fucking arm, then sure, and I'm just missing that. But I thought he tore that shit off.
He can get off as B's transformation speed is almost instant, surprising someone of KCM Naruto's caliber multiple times in their fights.
Crazy
fast. An example of a quick transformation from B is him switching into version 2 after getting blown back by an almighty push from Nagato, with Nagato attempting to flank his rear. So B's transformation speed is actually very impressive. This gets into the mid-fight. Now there's two scenarios here with B either going into version 2 and attempting to fight Pain, or he goes into the full 8 tails and attempts the same. If B does undergo the version 2 transformation, this is where he'll be able to start taking down the paths of Pain, as the version 2 hide is extremely corrosive to those who make physical contact with it, and he'll be able to start severing the Pains in half with his arm swings and lariats. A good 1-to-1 to kind of show how version 2 would perform against B is how Pain fights Utakata in the anime only, and Utakata, when he starts to get pressured, enters the version 2 cloak and is able to start severing the paths of Pain in half, which obviously Killer B being a superior Jinchuriki, you'd also be able to replicate. The reason I like Utakata fight as well is because it really puts into perspective how the paths of Pain fight normally.
Now, to be fair though, I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. If I were to go back to that episode, which was a goated fight, by the way, when they were fighting and everything. Now, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I believe that was like an off-guard attack that happened somehow. Like, they thought it was like over and then he somehow didn't move. I could have sworn that's what happened. And that's why those two got tagged. You know, they were caught off guard by the speed and everything, you name it, and weren't really paying attention. But if they are paying attention and they're on guard with their link vision and everything, they should be able to kind of deal with it and dodge, you name it. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. And especially with all the hacks, you know, Shinra Tensei, fucking Universal Pull kind of controlling them and whatnot, you know, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, like, they should be able to be fine, but it's reasonable to say, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. It's reasonable to say that they could get tagged like that too. If Six Tails could fucking do it, why wouldn't Eight Tails not be able to?
Activating their abilities off rip and just firing jutsu and adjusting accordingly to the opponent they're fighting, which is just so much stronger than a lot of people make it out to be, especially since, in this case, B doesn't have an answer to a lot of jutsu. The problem with B's version 2 stay, however, is that it will not protect him from Pain's rods, shown to be able to pierce through the likes of the Six Tails cloak, along with bypassing Sage Mode, Jiraiya's enhanced durability.
It's crazy strong.
In this state, as he'll be dealing with 6 opponents capable of creating said rods. This also isn't talking about how the Preta path may actually just rip the version 2 hide off of B, as this path can make physical contact.
That is true. He could just rip it off, yeah.
And absorb it through the contact. Nagato also replicates this feat as an Edo, which would be disastrous for Killer B. We don't know.
Just make him even like stronger and shit, yeah.
Can absorb the cloak or not. But considering Ross and Shuriken levels of chakra are very casual to
crazy.
He could absorb considerable amounts of B's chakra.
Yeah.
The problem with version 2 is that it doesn't really negate a lot of what Pain can do, like summoning the giant multi-headed dog that will continuously divide, which is, again, catastrophic for B, as Pain will get increased vision from the added summoning. So while B gains speed amp from the version 2, he shouldn't really be able to blitz Pain outright in this state. Kisame and Samehada were able to still steal chakra from B despite him being outright superior in every stat. The fact that they were cognitive enough to steal his chakra while getting blown back should be telling that Pain with a shared vision should be able to react to B well enough. If not, you know, throw attacks.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, with a shared vision, he should be perfectly fine. You name it. Not only that, Nagato has 2 fucking Renegons. Like, you know how much goddamn chakra you have to have and stamina to wield both fucking Renegons, where Obito only could do one because he would have lost his mind, you know, and you name it. So, like, that says a fucking lot. Like, Nagato is no fucking joke. Like, his chakra alert, like, you know, conserves and fucking stamina is just absolutely off the wall. Like, he's just crazy. So, like, definitely with the Link Vision, his chakra, his scaling, you name it, I don't see why not either. So, absolutely agree. Incredible points.
Out following him getting hit. Another issue for Killer B is that his movement patterns become far more linear in his tail beast state, which I realize is why his blade work is so unpredictable and base. It's to compensate for the devolved style of combat when he powers up. You may say fighters like Jiraiya have shown the ability to outright blitz Pain, but on top of some mental amps possibly coming into play with Jiraiya, I view Pain more so as testing Jiraiya's physical abilities at this point.
And that too.
On how the same path of Pain was able to just
so like, come on, like,
dealing Jiraiya's physical speed in a close quarters combat following that initial encounter. Version 1 and 2 Clo Killer B, while potentially offering B one or two paths of Pain that he would take down, would not give him any victory, and the minute he starts getting pierced by Pain's rod, he'll lose the battle.
GG,
When you go off the Utakata fight, he'll just start losing his cloak instantly and become immobilized. Any ninjutsu he throws out will be negated not only by the Preda path, but the Diva path as well, as also ignoring the fact that B will have to multitask and keep moving. The only real way he wins this fight is going into his full 8-tail state. Now, I have this as the late fight scenario. The late fight scenario is assuming that B goes into the 8-tails off rip.
I'm really intrigued what he's going to say on this. I'm really, really intrigued. Very intrigued.
Long enough to determine Pain requires a complete 8-tails possession to take on. This is actually a pretty likely scenario, as he does so or would have done so against Kisame if Sabu and Ponta weren't near him again. In this state, Pain will actually have no way to damage B and will have no answer for any large-scale Bijou bombs. On top of this, B does have options in this state, as he could clear the battlefield using the 8-tailed Beast Twister to kind of disrupt the Pain, blow them back, clear, like kind of mess with their vision. He can also use the ceiling jutsu Octopus Hold. So
now, one thing I will say, I feel like if Pain was to, you know, with enough chakra and everything, to like use the rods, that he could still be able to kind of hit it with the tails and maybe, you know, kind of like fuck with him, or I wouldn't say maybe depower. I don't know. It's arguable to depower, whatever. But in a way, kind of like fuck with him. You know what I mean? Like kind of hitting his chakra network and everything, to where that can kind of leave for some openings and whatnot. You know, or with the Diva Path doing like a Shinra Tensei. Like, come on, like he was able to fucking one-shot the big-ass toads. Now, obviously, I'm not saying the toads are 8-tails level and shit like that. I'm not saying that. But the fact that he can clearly, you know, like with enough chakra, he can do some damage with the Shinra Tensei. I feel like he could be able to combat against him to a degree. Like, for instance, if Sugetsu, however the fuck you say his name, Waterboy, was able to kind of combat against B in the 8-tails, I don't see it being completely unreasonable for Pain to be able to pull that off too. But to worst case scenario, let's say like Beast is too much, whatever, and you know he's fucking, you know, whatever going at it, and Nagato just doesn't want to take the risk. Period. Like he could just do Chibaku Tensei, or would the Soul Grab even work? Like if the Soul guy went up and just touched the big fucking B thing, like could he just start doing the Soul? Like, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? I really don't. But you know, like what we can say at least as well, like Shinra Tensei, like it is stated in the data books and everything. Like it doesn't matter about size, whatever. Like it will fucking basically push back and whoop whatever is coming at it. You know what I mean? Like it, you know, Shinra Tensei is no fucking joke. So like I feel like he could still be able to combat and you know be able to deal with the full 8-tails. Don't get me wrong, 8-tails is no fucking joke. But you know, like I feel like there's ways. You know what I mean? And then like, if he does shoot like a BG bomb, obviously you have to hit the path that can either Shinra Tensei it or just absorb, you know, shit like that, or they can just dodge accordingly. But either way, I feel like in character, what will more than likely go down is he would just get sealed by Chibaku Tensei. You know what I mean? Like you guys gotta remember the statement where Nagato does Chibaku Tensei on fucking the 6-tails, V2 6-tails, and then basically like once he does that, fucking like it then goes into full transformation. It has like 8 tails coming out, okay, and then 9, like all 9 tails are out in full transformation. And then he's like, oh wow, I never imagined it to be this strong. Well, whatever, I'll just enlarge it and make it bigger. Like clearly indicating that he still was confident enough to fucking seal the 9 tails, which is just his power alone was fucking insanely crazy. You know what I mean? And like obviously you can imply greater than fucking 8 tails. So like if he could be able to, at least for it to be implied that he could seal the 9 tails, I wouldn't say he shouldn't be able to do it with the 8 tails. You know what I mean? And you even have Nagato, I know it's when he's in Edo, but you even have him when he does the Chibaku Tensei, and it took for fucking KCM Naruto, Itachi, and B to shoot their shit to break it. You know what I mean? So, like, take it however you want, but it's either if you think that's a win con, then he loses. If you don't think that could be able to take care of the Eight Tails, then they lose and they all die. But obviously Nagato's still alive, but that's what happens. However you guys want to take that, but I am curious to see what he's gonna think of how it goes.
Active pains, and if he catches one, hold them down while he charges any technique. Killer Bee does have a lot of options in this state, with it being his highest chance.
Or actually, I just remembered what Pain could also do, which this is actually a pretty interesting win con, where he could send the summoning Pain like to summon the fucking dog thing. You know what I mean? To like that keep splitting apart whenever it gets injured. So you can do that to fight against the Eight Tails and like spam summonings, whatever. And then basically like the summoning Pain will just go away, start running, and then let's say B's about to do like a Biju Bomb or the Twister, move or whatever. Like basically he could just summon them all away. You know what I mean? And then just to get away like from the the blast radius or the destruction. And then fucking like and just fly back and summon them back. Like he could be using the bird to kind of maneuver, fly, summon shit, you name it, like kind of strategizing like that. Or he could even use a Diva Path who can fly, and he could use Universal Pull on B, maybe move him around, Shinra Tensei's while he's flying and shit. Like that'd be pretty cool. I mean, so like there could be ways Nagato could kind of be able to pull off like or do some crazy shit. I'm just saying, like I mean, like it's not unreasonable, but. Yeah, either way, that's just me.
With a large-scale Bijou Bomb being very viable. Now, a complete Eight Tails Killer Bee still does not stop a lot of what the Animal Path can do, so it's not like they're going to get blown away, especially since the multi-headed dog was still able to continuously, even after getting hit by like KCM Naruto's Rasen Shuriken.
Yep.
Now, while I think all these beasts are going to be annoying, to say they could cut through or potentially break the Eight Tails hide is a bit questionable. The Eight Tails hide is pretty durable, with the Bijou generally scaling to their own tailed beast bombs. So to kind of say that the Pats of Pain's animal summonings would be able to produce more force than Killer Bee's Eight Tailed.
Well, see, what's interesting about that is like, so you have like Sasuke Shidori cutting through the Eight Tails durability. You have the third Raikage cutting through his durability, shit like that. And then the next thing you know, you're seeing them withstand Biju bombs and shit. You know what I mean? So like, it's like, can they withstand the Biju bombs because the Biju bombs is more of a concussive force? You know what I mean? Like a blast type thing, and they're fine to like while compared to like something that's designed to pierce or cut through is more effective on that type of durability. Like you get what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, like. It's fine to like scale it to like the Biju bomb or whatever, like to a degree, like with the blast. But like if an actual Biju bomb was to like hit like dead on contact on the Eight Tails, I don't think that's gonna be good for him. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like the horn from that, like what was it? The Five Tails? I can't remember. Like did a horn attack and he was able to go right through his durability and make him bleed. You know what I mean? Knock his ass back and shit. So like. Take it however you want with his durability, but B's Eight Tails like full transformation durability is really weird. I don't know, it's really fucking weird in my opinion. That's just me though, from my memory and stuff, what I've seen and whatnot, and like whether if you think it's inconsistencies or not, or whatever the case may be, or if you think because maybe the Eight Tails, if he's applying enough chakra that he can increase his durability and whatnot, whether if you think that's even possible or not. But I'm not gonna get into that. But either way, like that's just me, you know what I mean? Like, but so that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that's why it's still like arguable that the rods could potentially still be to pierce him. Certain, summonings can maybe be to damage him, maybe. You know what I mean? Things like that and whatnot. So I don't know. That's just me.
Beast Bombs is a bit out there, especially since they're shown to be more of a rival for the Toad summons. So that's kind of what I'll say on that. But the obvious response that people are going to bring up here is Chibaku Tensei.
Yeah.
If you assume that Pain's Chibaku Tensei that he used against Naruto and the one Nagato used against Naruto and Killer Bee and Itachi are identical in their quote-unquote strength, Killer Bee is going to be caught in it. Now, Chibaku Tensei is more so dependent on the size, with these two usages being almost the same in size, Off this line of reasoning, B shouldn't be able to escape it, as Nagato required A-Tails Killer B, KCM Naruto, and Itachi. Again, pretty self-explanatory unless you believe otherwise.
Yeah.
Nagato's version is vastly superior, which is fair, just more so gets into the semantics of how does Chibaku Tensei get buffed other than size. You can maybe say it as a buffed gravitational force, but that would go back to the size point, as it would be a bigger black hole to pull in more. The only other references we have for Chibaku Tensei are Madara using it and dropping meteors on the Earth, which he does use a bigger variation, so you could potentially say that kind of lends semblance to this argument. And Sasuke, who is not a good example because his Chibaku Tensei is vastly superior to other Rinnegan users. Sasuke's Chibaku Tensei uses the person as the center of gravity.
Literally.
Rocks collect on the person. He does this with the Tail Beast and Momoshiki, so it's actually a lot stronger than the standard Rinnegan. Killer B doesn't wipe out Pain super early on, or doesn't go into his complete eight-tailed state semi-early in the fight. It's going to be at a ridiculous disadvantage and will most likely lose at this point in the series.
So like, that's the main thing, like, either B just loses before he can even go full eight tails, or if he's smart enough to take him as much as a threat to go into it, Pain will still win the fight, but it's going to be like mid diff. You know what I mean? If you think it's high diff, whatever, fine. But I feel like it'd be mid diff. You know what I mean? And go from there, and that's it, and he'd be fine. I feel like Pain just has so many ways to deal with a full eight tails transformation. That's just me, based on what we've like seen overall and whatnot. And then obviously, if you don't think all that will work for him or whatever, then come on, like fucking Chibaku Tensei. That's just, it's just that simple, bro. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. So, you know, like, it doesn't get any easier than that. But fucking good, really, really good video so far.
Ending, but this does fit with Pain's narrative of being the strongest in the Akatsuki, with Pain actually wanting to fight Naruto in his nine-tailed state in his character bio, along with him confirming this in his fight with Naruto, which does say something to his strength when considering he has experience with at least one upper-tailed beast. So the fact that he's been exposed to 1 through 7 Bijou and what he wants to fight is the Nine-Tails chakra, I think does say something to Pain at this point in the series, the Nine-Tails being the only one who could really push Pain to his absolute limit. In short, it's a good thing that Pain didn't go take on Killer B at this point in the series. If you want to say like were Killer B's able to take down Pain or can do a lot better against him, that's perfectly fine. I'm just using B at this specific point in the series. Pain's an absolute animal. Wanted to put some respect.
I'm be real with you. I love me some Pain. I love me some fucking Pain. Like, I love him to death. Fucking, oh my god, I fucking love him. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Even if it is Warg B, I still see Pain beating him, but that's just me. So.
On him, as I see a lot of people just downplay my boy. So that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe if you can.
Amen. Say that again. Say that again.
Take on Killer B at this point in the series. If you want to say like were Killer B's able to take down Pain or can do a lot better against him, that's perfectly fine. I'm just using B at this specific point in the series. Pain's an absolute animal. Wanted to put some respect on him, as I see a lot of people just downplay my boy. So that's
Amen. Fuck yes. Holy shit. Like, this is why I love Thundergod, bro. Like, somebody is spitting the fucking truth. There's so much downplay, so much disrespect with the fucking character. It's absolutely outrageous. It's crazy. Fucking crazy. So, absolutely agree. I cannot agree any freaking more than what he just said. So, great video. Goated fucking video. Definitely deserves a like. That was a really good video. So, you know, basically my final thoughts overall, you know, with the video, obviously he did his fucking homework. He did pretty well to research into both the two. Kind of talked over everything briefly. Did a very, very great job kind of analyzing it and how everything could go and etc. So yeah, really, really good. I love how he even uses the anime. I love that shit because there's a bunch of idiots that just don't even use the anime either, which it gives so much more better detail and even more narrative implications, etc. Just more evidence to the cherry on the top, you know. But either way, like, I love how he uses evidence. I love how he's explaining it. Just fan-fucking-tastic. It was really good. He did Pain great. He even did B great. He even did him good. So, really, really good video. I'll definitely say that. But, like I said, like, if it really came down to it, like, I'll keep it very brief and short. You know, like, I just, you know, if Pain were to pull up, bro, I just don't see B winning that shit. I just don't see it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not fair. Like, don't get me wrong. B is no joke. He's crazy strong, but, like, he's just, come on, you know what I mean? Like, like, if Sasuke can do it, you ain't gonna tell me Pain can't fucking do it. Like, I'm gonna tell you that right now. You know what I mean? So it's just that simple. But yeah, no, a really good video. You guys let me know down in the comments down below who would win that fight. Do you think B's slamming? Do you think Pain's slamming? Let me know. What's it called? Make sure to leave a like for the video. Give this guy all the support he needs. Don't forget about him. Subscribe for more content. Subscribe, guys, on the channel. Let's get our subs up. I freaking see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are not subscribed to the channel that are watching my videos. What are we doing? Get the subs up. Let's go. Vámonos, okay? But either way, as always, guys, peace.